All right, guys, this is going to be a 60-minute follow along. 60-minute follow along because it takes about 40 minutes to warm up the fascia. So this is step one as a follow along in the movement therapy sequence. This is something that you're going to do on a daily basis. It's super gentle, and what it's going to do is it's going to unwind all of your tissue, right? Because with fascia, look, if I scrunch this up, it's going to pull everywhere. That's one thing. But also, once it heals, right? Because it doesn't heal, it readjusts itself to compensate for other things. So you need to unwind all of it to put things back into the natural place where they are. So that's what we're going to be doing, okay? All right, let's get started. So first we're bouncing. Nice and gentle bouncing. If something hurts, right, if you feel pain during the bounce, lessen the amplitude of the bounce. Look how small my bounces are now. And you might want to lessen it anyway. Just start with a very low amplitude for everything. When I got my lower back injury, it was horrible. It hurt so much. My recent lower back injury, I couldn't even get out of my car or Chloe's car. I couldn't get out. I had to pull myself out with my hands, and it was such sharp pain. I was going down a hill and I fell down a hill, not because it was such a steep hill, but because my hips just didn't have stability. They just lost their stability. And this, what I'm teaching you now, is what got me my stability back. This is like the deepest layers of physical therapy that I've ever experienced. And I'm excited to share this with you. I was really blessed by the universe to stumble upon, through a friend, this Russian therapist that puts together all of these micro movements to unwind fascia. And now I'm teaching it to you because there's nobody that speaks English that teaches this. Only a Russian guy that teaches it. What a blessing it is to be able to speak another language. Okay, big breaths. Hum. So this is already some things that I added to it, right? But the micro movements, I mean, incredible. Now, what we're doing is we're gonna hum on the exhale to stimulate the vagus nerve. Inhale. Relax the shoulders. As we get older, as we keep aging, we start to bring our shoulders higher and higher and higher until we don't even notice how high they are. Just like relax them. It's a protective mechanism. When you're in a sympathetic state, it's a protective mechanism to bring your shoulders up. Inhale and exhale with the And don't try to do this right. Whatever I'm showing you, don't try to do this right. Don't try to do this wrong. Do this with love. I think that's the most important thing. That gives you room to make whatever errors you need and to keep perfecting it without judging yourself in any way, shape, or form. And then you could take that into the rest of your life as well. Okay, so big inhale. And now what we're doing is we're going to step one foot out. Okay. And we're just going to go nice and gentle from side to side. Very gentle lunges. No pain. That's the most important part about this. Do not push through pain. Go where it feels pleasant. And now I'm turning the hip a little bit. Like if you're not there, that's okay. Just stay here. Make the amplitude, the expansion of it, very small. And then boom, boom, boom. We're going to be doing this for 1 hour. Every day, 1 hour. Devote an hour of your day to this. When your body needs that love, devote 1 hour of your day to this. Relaxing your fascia tissue. See, the fascia, it's responsible, back to shaking. The fascia is responsible, well, it is, for a lot of things in your body. The fascia makes up about 80 to 90% of your connective tissue. Relax the shoulders, big inhale. The fascia is a big mover in the body. Well, it's a small mover, it's almost invisible, but that's what gives you your power, your strength, your structure, and your function in the body. It's one of the most important things in the body, and it's one of the most neglected. In ancient Qigong schools and possibly some yoga schools, though I haven't heard anyone talking about fascia in yoga, but I'm not discounting it because we're just not exposed to great yoga in the United States. So in the Qigong schools, they talked about fascia for a very long time. In the West, they're just gently getting into it. And the Qigong practitioners, they were practicing methodologies and incorporating tools to heal the fascia because they understood that a fascia injury has one of two possibilities. Well, any injury is a fascia injury. Just that's one thing, right? And it can only be relaxed in certain ways, and it takes a certain amount of time to warm up, to start moving it, to get blood to it. It's very, very fine tissue. And it really requires the slow way of healing and developing. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk, okay? So just look at what I'm doing with my feet. I'm activating through my foot, and then I wanna keep my head stable. I'm activating through my foot, my knee is bending, right? My whole body is working together in unison. My hips are moving. My spine is remaining stable. I'm walking in place. And my shoulders are moving. And my eyes are looking straight, as if I'm walking down Times Square. There's people around me. I can see them in my periphery. Pay attention to your peripheral vision also. Just relax your vision and just walk. Walk. This is going to take time. You want to get to a point where you feel like you caught the harmony of your body. Like right now, I just caught the harmony of my body, and I'm walking, and what feels like. And you could also do like if you do the heel raise, do it very small amplitude. Don't go up here, right? You're not on a Stairmaster. You're just small amplitude. If you start small, with the small frame, you could do the big frame a lot easier. I used to say, I still do, during movement sessions, is that if you can go fast, it doesn't mean you can go slow. But if you can go slow, that means you can go fast. Because as you're moving and you're going slow, you're not skipping steps. When you go fast, you start to skip milestones and steps that are required for development of movement. Think about it. Big breath, think about it. As we're walking, think about how fast people rush babies to start walking, and they don't let them crawl or inchworm or do anything, because there's a race in society to have your kids do things faster. And the reality is, fast does not mean better. We're looking to do things with love. We're not looking to do them fast. We're looking to do them with love. We're not looking to do them slow either. I mean, slow is just a method to learn how to do it. We're trying to do it with love. And if that requires us to go slow, well, let's go back to shaking. Then that's what it is. With love is the most important thing. With love and kindness to ourselves. Because when we go fast, we can definitely get injured. But if we go slow, we're not going to get injured because we hear what our body is saying. It's communicating to us. Right now, you are reconnecting with your body and learning how to communicate to your body right back. Your body is aching for something. Once you start incorporating this practice every day, you're gonna want to start doing it throughout your day. You're just standing there in the kitchen and you're just shaking. You're cooking. You're kneading bread and you're just shaking. Or boom, you come to here. You're just standing there. Maybe you're standing there and you're talking to your child or your partner, and you just feel that your body wants to move. Right now, we're just programming different letters for you to use to communicate with your body, because your body's communicating to you. It wants something. It needs something. It needs certain movement. Like, you just gotta move more. You just gotta move. Like, it doesn't even matter, like, what it is. Don't break your body moving. Put the feet together. We're gonna shake. Don't break your body moving. Move to communicate love and kindness to your body. We just need the right intention. We need the right intention for our practice, for our life. And I believe that most people have the wrong intention. The intention is to be a baller, to crush it, to be successful, to be rich, to be strong, to look fit. That's the intention. Relax the shoulders. But the intention needs to be, I want to be in harmony with myself, with who I am, with my body, my heart, my mind, and my spirit. That's the intention. To be at peace, to have peace in my heart, to have love in my heart, to have kindness in my heart. Those are intentions. Those are incredible intentions, because when those intentions, people are scared to give up their materialistic intentions, but the reality is, like, materialism is just part of the world. There's other dimensions, and the material dimension is the one that profits, let's say, from being in harmony and being at peace. Because when you're at harmony, big breath, and you're at peace, well, life starts to become easier. Like, things just feel better. And you start to make more money too. Like, you make more money, your body is healthier. Who cares how much you can lift if you can only lift it till you're 50 or 55? and then you can never move again. Where you're just crippled and stiff, just waiting to die. This is what loosens your body. This is how you heal long-standing chronic injuries as well as acute ones. Obviously, there's a few other steps for all of this, right? But this is the way. This is the main piece of the practice, is this gentle movement to recover. And then you could go back to doing things that you love, but take time to heal. And maybe after you heal, you won't even love those things anymore because you see how destructive they are to you. Or you start to do them better in a different way. Like, for example, I love jujitsu. Big breaths, continue to breathe. I love jujitsu, right? Like, I love doing jujitsu. And no matter where I trained in my life, everybody was really rough. Like, it hurt. All the time it hurt, especially because I'm a lighter weight, right? Like, I was the lightest weight in jiu-jitsu, rooster weight. That's a weight class. I was the lightest weight class in jiu-jitsu. So it's like people in my weight class don't really make it to black belt and beyond for the most part. There's some that do, but very little, because they just get broken. These big dudes just like break them. And I got broken. I had 4 herniated discs. I had torn rotator cuffs. And these are serious, like, career-ending injuries. I've tore my hips before, my knee. I mean, and all of these were major injuries. My ankle was like a 16 to 18 month recovery to even get it to, no, we're just lifting the feet and just follow along. Just to get it to probably like 60, 70%. And then I still had inflammation in my ankle till I was like, I don't know, 3 years after that. 3 years after that. And then when I started learning how to move my body in this way, I mean, game changer. Like, I was able to, I had this one situation like years ago when I started to bulletproof my joints, and my ankles were one of the first starting points. I was carrying Leo, and he was probably like 35 pounds, and we were at the park. And I fell off a ledge at the park, holding Leo, because I didn't realize that there was just like a ledge that falls off. In Costa Rica, I mean, they don't have a lot of safety measures. So I fell off, I rolled my ankle hard, holding 30 extra pounds, and I walked it off with no pain the next day. Same ankle. And that's when I knew it really works. Like, I knew it was feeling stable, but like, I didn't test it. That was a good test to be like, wow, Rome, this stuff is working. And all of those injuries that I mentioned, I healed them without surgery. I haven't had any surgeries. I've always reverted back to this because I didn't want people to cut into me. I just didn't trust the medical system to have my best interest at heart because of all the experience that I had, like, growing up super sick. And I've had surgeries before that were very unsuccessful. So, like, when I was a kid. So it's just like, why the hell would I put myself through that? Right, relax the shoulders, maybe relax the hands a little bit, figure out a different amplitude, smaller amplitude. Also, these different amplitudes are different vibrations that you're communicating to your body. Like, this feels very different than this. Like, bigger does not always mean better. Like, bigger isn't better, faster isn't better, smaller isn't better either, right? Like, none of these things are better. Better is better. And better is to better communicate with your body. To better chase. So here's the spectrum, right? Because sometimes, like, we have to learn what this intuitive feeling feels like. The intuitive feeling of better feels like this feels good. The intuitive feeling that this is worse is that this hurts. Okay? And I don't mean hurts because you've been doing it for an extended amount of time. I mean like the sharp pains of injury. Those are very different pains. I didn't tell you guys to get a chair, but make sure you have a chair around you. And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit down, okay? We're just gonna move our hands on our knees, keep our head looking straight. And then we're gonna add the feet on whenever you feel ready. This is the way you need to be doing it. Looking straight. And you're just walking while in your chair. I mean, this is perfect. If you're a desk ape, like if you sit at a desk and work, right? Most of us are. Like if you work on the computer, you're sitting at a desk and working. So this is what you can do if you sit in a chair. There's other things there's other ways that we've developed where you can do it on the floor if you don't have a chair. But this is if you have a chair. I'll show you the other ways in another class. Keep the head looking straight, shoulders back. Boom, we're just moving, boom. And make sure that the hips are moving just like the shoulders are moving. That the shoulders aren't going like this, okay? Where they're just like, they're moving just with the hips, head straight. Tap into your peripheral vision. If you have a beautiful view like I do, I mean, then do that, look at that. I mean, that's where it's magical. When you come down for a retreat, you'll see like what the background out here looks like 100-foot pine trees. It's so inspirational to be walking among these old, ancient pines. Oh, we're just moving. And if your hips are hurting, right, or your back is hurting, boom, make it a little smaller. Even if it's not, let's just make it smaller. Smaller steps, just gentle lifts, boom. Big breaths, continue to breathe. Because this is how you need to be sitting in a chair too. Not like this, not like this. Like if you're gonna sit in a chair, chairs have posture too. Posture isn't only just standing. Chairs require posture too. So you start sinking. If you start feeling your body sinking, boom, stand right up and start moving. Because you're doing more damage. You're doing something that fascia does, it creeps. What happens is when you sit in the same position with your fascia, like with your body, when you sit in the same position with your body, your fascia adjusts. It adjusts because it's like, oh, this is what we're doing now. This is what he's doing. And after some time, it just stays there. It starts to get crunched. And most of these positions, they're not better positions, they're worse positions. So your fascia is adjusting for you. It's having a maladaptation. It's adapting negatively, like a negative adaptation to your movement habits. Your body, your life adjusts to your habits. Your body adjusts to your movement habits. Your heart adjusts to your emotional habits. Your mind adjusts to your mental habits. Your spirit adjusts to your spiritual habits. Your environment, well, that adjusts you also. And you get to choose your environment, but only after you take full control of your physical and emotional being, possibly mental as well. But start with the physical. It's a lot easier if you start with the physical. Don't even think about any of the other ones. Just start with the physical. Then you start adding emotional regulation. Because emotional regulation, you'll be shocked how much better you can regulate yourself emotionally when you can breathe well. You don't need any of the mindset. You don't need spirituality practices. Just learn how to breathe better. I don't care what religion you are. Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, it doesn't matter. Hindu, it doesn't matter. Native religions, pagan religions, it doesn't matter. Why? Because we all are human. We are all one family. We might have some disputes and feuds, but we're all living under the heavens as one family. That's what we are. We might look different. Some of us might smell different. But we're all one family. And when we realize that, we start to realize that as one family, and all being human, we have very human characteristics that we need to develop. We need to develop those characteristics. There's certain things, there's certain God-given tools that have been given to us, which is, the first one is this body, this temple, this machine. I mean, it's all of it, right? So we get to develop this body. Now we're going to put 2 hands on one leg. We get to develop this body. And notice I'm shifting my hip. Boom. I'm shifting both hips. Then don't go too far. Like this is what I developed. When my lower back was hurting, I could only do this. It was shocking. Okay? And then boom. Now I can reach back and grab my pocket. So if we're all one family and we all came from the same place, well, then biologically, we're a lot more similar than we care to accept. When you learn how to breathe properly, like I teach in the nervous system evolution, in the breath detox, when you learn how to breathe properly, well, magic starts to happen because you get to choose your response. So, okay. So you're in an emotional conflict with somebody, right? Or you're having a conversation with somebody and you react to them. They say something. They're like, organic food is stupid. And you explode on them. Boom. And then afterwards you realize that, man, I wish I didn't explode. And you realize that what you want to be is non-reactive. You just don't want to react, right? So it's very simple. You choose to start paying attention to your emotions, and it doesn't work. And then you start to feel even more guilty because now you know what you need to be, but you just can't do it. This will allow you to do it. The nervous system evolution and the breath detox will give you the space you need internally to be non-reactive. And that's not even the end goal. We'll talk about the end goal, right? So back to walking. This isn't even the end goal. Non-reactive is just the next step. And imagine how much better your life would be if emotionally you didn't react to other people's way of being. Or maybe how you see it right now is provocation, like they're provoking you, but I don't think they are. I think most people that you interact with are unconscious and they don't realize like what they're even saying. They're just giving you a program, like in the Matrix. Like in the Matrix, anybody can become Agent Smith. If you haven't watched the Matrix, go watch it again. From this perspective, anybody can become Agent Smith. So it's like if you start talking about organic food, if you start talking about breathing and moving better, people are just going to go into their script that they've been fed by the media, by culture, by programming, that no, that's not true. But they're not looking around at the results of what they're fighting for. It's Stockholm syndrome. It's like when somebody starts to defend their attackers, really, the people that have been enslaving them. Okay, so we're moving, we're walking, okay. Big inhales. Okay, now we're just gonna lean over, put our hands right here, elbows on the knees, and we're just gonna move from side to side. And just catch the rhythm, boom, 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 boom. Look, we are all just one family. We all have a physical body, an emotional body, a psychological body, a spiritual body. We have a relational body, how we relate to other people. And then, because the first 4 is how we relate to ourselves and the universe, essentially. or our idea of the divine, whatever religion we subscribe to. And then our relational is how we relate to other people, which essentially, all right, now we're just like moving. We got the shoulders moving a little bit. We relaxed them. Almost like a very like hip hop expression, like you're just sitting there, boom, boom, but more flowy. Okay, back to walking in the chair, boom, boom. Now we're lifting our heels. We just get to evolve, whatever that looks like, right? Like evolution is very unique to every person. Evolution, growth, whatever you want to call it. Because if you're Christian, you might not believe in the idea of evolution, right? So it's like you can call it growth. It's just growth, adaptation, growth. As we grow, we get to choose how we adapt to the circumstances based on, one of few factors. The first one is, did we heal? Are we healed? Or is that thing just triggering our wound? Big, like small walks, nice and slow. And also, the other one is our perspective and our belief system towards what's going on. And you can use any hot topic that the media portrays and it gets people fired up. So usually how I look at it is like, if this is still bothering me, if I'm still being triggered by this thing, back to shaking, then there's something unhealed inside of me. So I go back to a lot of my practices for my body, my heart, my mind, and my spirit, whatever that is, right? For some people, their spirituality practices are praying to Jesus. To some people, it's going out into nature. To some people, it's jiu-jitsu and movement for them, right? Because in a way, like it's a way to be in flow, like your flow, like to be at peace. And if you start to expand that peace and that harmony, because hopefully you find peace in that chosen loving activity that you have, and if you find peace in that activity, then you start to look for that feeling. Hopefully, when you realize that you start to look for that feeling in other things. And sometimes it's a very rude awakening because you find yourself only having one thing that you love, and that feeling is not spreading to other places. So, maybe that's a question to start looking at and being like, what other things can I enjoy? What other things can I incorporate? Or what things, maybe at first, right? Because we created like the 6D detox program, which is the 6 dimensions of detox, but you're really detoxing stress. So stress from the body, the heart, the mind, the spirit, the environment, our relationships. Okay, now we're just moving side to side, keeping the head straight. We're just detoxing stress as the second step. And it's like, it's not easy at first because find your space right here, boom. Find that wiggle where it's almost like you're not using any energy, almost like a Newtonian cradle, where it's just like doom, 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 and it's infinite, right? We can do it like a Newtonian cradle here, boom, 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 boom. Because when you heal your nervous system, when you learn how to detox your emotions, acutely and chronically, well, then you can start swinging the arms side to side, nice and slow. Incorporate the feet and the hips. Just the hips for now. Actually, just the hips for now. Nice and slow, nice and gentle. Nothing crazy. No crazy amplitude. You don't need to be here. No, we're just here. Nice and gentle, just opening up the fascia. Okay, put a little twist in there. When we heal our nervous system, when we expand our capacity, when we start to breathe into the proper zone, when we learn how to, just that alone, forget about the next steps, just that alone. Okay, back to shaking. When we improve our capacity, when we get an A+ in our breathing, which is a measurement, right? We do our VLC, and then our vital life capacity, and then we look at the location of movement for the breath. We can see how much progress we've made in our nervous system. There's measurements for it. That's what we do here. And so it's very subjective, right? Because like you feel, but it's also very objective because like we can look at our improvement. Like I've had people tell me that this is completely, just that one step alone has completely changed and transformed their life. And it's like, yeah, when you start to learn how to be non-reactive and choose your response, oh my God, magic could happen because you can, miracles, magic, whatever you want to call it. Like, because then you can choose what's the next step that you take in your life. Either in response to some external stressor or just because you choose to take a next step, like one foot after the other, right? Maybe you've detoxed your life enough where you don't have a lot of external stressors. But at first you need the external stressors. I believe you need them because you need to develop this ability. Really, like you need to develop how to, like the ability to self-regulate and to choose. And they're not teaching that in school. They're not teaching that in college. They're not teaching this in school, in college, in martial arts studios. Like they're not teaching this in university. Like you can only learn how to self-regulate through your own journey. Luckily, we stumbled upon some tools for self-regulation, but for most people, it's probably not going to happen unless they stumble upon tools and they start to use tools, like the right tools. Because how often do you meet people that get triggered at almost everything? Like everything triggers them. The left or the right or the red or the blue or this or that. And like people are just triggered by stuff. This new media sensation and this new media sensation. And the reality is it's just like, one, who cares? Like like you can't do anything about it. Like you can't, there's most of those things you can do nothing about except bitch and moan. So let's just turn it off. Let's just turn it off and focus on improving the world that we have access to. Like just because the internet is telling you that you have to be scared or angry at this thing, or the media, they will, because then they're telling you this because they understand when you're scared, you purchase more stuff, you drink more, like when you're scared, you make silly decisions. And that's the way to keep people divided. Like I said, humans are one family. Like you get to love on everybody. But empathy is not sympathy. Like sympathy, like that kind of sympathy, that kind of like, I feel bad for these people or I hate these people, It's so self-destructive. And then when you destroy yourself, you don't have anything that you put in your cup. Like, you're not filling up your cup. I am looking at the beautiful birds that just flew into my yard. I don't know what they are, but they are so beautiful. Chloe, you see them? One of them had like this beautiful, like orange green chest. This is the life, right? Like, this is life. Like, you're observing the things that are around you in your environment. Like, that's sustainable. It's not sustainable for you to have a bleeding heart over everything that's going on in the world. Send your love and keep working on yourself and keep spreading that love, being a ripple effect to those that are closest to you. Your family, your friends, your community, your children. They're so beautiful, huh?
Those are robins, and the other ones I think were some type of pheasant.
Oh, wow. So robins and pheasants. Chloe's teaching me. I'm not a bird expert. I'm not even an expert in animals because I lived in Brooklyn. Like, I didn't have access to this stuff. Like, we had pigeons, we had seagulls, we had rats, and we had some pigeons, I mean, not pigeons, squirrels, and we had cockroaches. And we had cicadas once every 7 years or something, and fireflies. We had fireflies for a time too, which is really interesting because I never see fireflies anymore. Like, when's the last time you've seen a firefly, Chloe? Well, but I was in like Wyoming, I was in Utah. I just haven't seen them. Maybe it has, all right, let's go side to side now. Maybe it has something to do with like the shift in the environment. In terms of like, I mean, who knows, right? It could be, there's certain toxins that could be killing them off. Because we are like going through another extinction, supposedly. Like, we've had so much die-off. All right, let's sit down. We've had so much die-off of species in the world. And I mean, whether that's human-related or just cyclical related, I mean, who knows, right? Like, cyclically, maybe some animals maladapt out. But yeah, I mean, humans are definitely contributing to that by toxins. And I really don't think that it's what they say it is in terms of like, oh, humans are causing global warming, which possible, but forget about global warming for a second. Like, you have a more immediate threat, and that's just toxic exposure. Like, you're being sprayed with like silver iodide and nanoparticled aluminum for weather, like seeding, like cloud seeding. They call it cloud seeding. It's weather manipulation, and it's what people have been talking about as like chemtrails for a really long time. Like, yeah, it's the conspiracy theorists that were talking about it, but chemtrails, chemical trails, is literally what's being sprayed. It's a nanoparticles of aluminum, which bind water 5-to-1, and that's what they spray next to airports to clear up the air in airports. But all of those things are leading to massive symptoms in people, like brain fog, memory problems, digestive issues, spectrum disorder. I mean, think about how much higher the spectrum of kids with autism has become. We've went from like 1 out of 10,000 to, I believe this year, it's 1 out of 22 boys that are born on the spectrum, potentially heavy on the spectrum. I read that it's like, it's so heavy that kids are being born now that they have to wear like a helmet and diaper for so many years because like they just have no control of their bowels. A lot of that is toxicity. I mean, toxins definitely play a huge role in autism. I mean, all the PubMed articles will tell you this heavy metal or whatever is particularly attributed to potential neurological changes in the mother's brain and the body, and the fetus's brain and body, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. The environment plays a part in our lives. And going back to big breath, going back to like, you can only affect your environment that you're living in with like Facebook posts or stories. Like, yeah, maybe it'll affect somebody a little bit, but realistically, human beings, they say, have the attention span between 2.5 to 6 seconds, which a goldfish has the attention span of 9 seconds nowadays. So the people that you can impact in your life, that you can create a ripple, it'll keep going back to like our tribal ancestors, having those 150 people in their circle at most, and then being able to impact their lives. And maybe like tribal get-togethers with other tribes twice a year and making an impact in their lives. That's it, 150 people. I mean, if you're a big influencer and people are buying your programs, maybe you can impact more. But I mean, like, for the most part, 80% of us, we would be over the moon to impact the lives of 150 people. To have 150 people want to speak at our funeral about how we impacted their lives, incredible. And some people do that with having children, a lot of children and grandchildren. And it's selfish and it's selfless, right? Because you give so much of your energy to raising children. Okay, go back to one leg. I don't have grandchildren yet, but I hope I do one day. Seems like a very magical experience. Switch legs. Spine straight. Okay, now we get to the last one. We're gonna hold it. Okay, twist. Okay, come up. Start walking again. Nice and small ones if you can, right? So just here. And find that rhythm. That perfect rhythm will feed you energy, as opposed to and it's okay to mess up, but you have to find it. And you have to mess up in order to find it. It takes time to find that perfect rhythm for yourself. So do it with love. Do it with love and you'll figure it out, guaranteed. Just tune into your body, tune into whatever you're feeling. Just breathe. Humming tones the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is a very important nerve system in the body, and it's the wandering nerve that goes through your body, goes into like the fascia, it goes into all of your organs. I mean, it communicates. It's like the super highway for communications in your body. It's responsible for so many processes. And the vagus nerve could be toned through a handful of ways. One of them is breathing diaphragmatically. The diaphragm can help tone the vagus nerve. That's probably the most important one. Breathing through the using the diaphragm to breathe is probably the most important thing that you can learn how to do, period. That's what I teach in nervous system evolution, and we touch on it in the breath detox. So once you do that, it changes the game. It's like, because then you're constantly toning the vagus nerve. You're properly working out the vagus nerve. Another thing that we can do is to hum. And then we inhale right away. And what that does when we inhale right away after that long hum is it sucks up the nitric oxide that your nose helps to make. When you breathe through your nose, you're creating nitric oxide also. When you're humming, you're creating nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is really important as like a vasodilator. It's for men, it's great for erections and for sexual health, but also like just to send blood throughout the body. So we're gonna do some more humming. Also, when you're humming, go like this at first and catch 2/3 of your tongue at the roof of your mouth and keep it there sticky. Okay? So then as you're humming, you're vibrating. Well, first of all, you're connecting the front and the back circuit of your body. So the front circuit and the back circuit, you're connecting them using your tongue at the roof of your mouth. Also, when you vibrate that energy going up, you affect the decalcification of your pineal gland. And your pineal gland is a very important part of your body. It controls a lot of things. And a lot of us have a calcified pineal gland from the food that we've been eating and the fluoride we've been drinking. Fluoride is just the halogens are very big in a lot of things. The calcification of the pineal gland, and also fluoride affects iodine, so iodine absorption. And there's a lot of people out there with hypothyroidism or just thyroid disorders. And one of the main reasons for that is the iodine is not being properly assimilated in the body. And the main reason for that is fluoride and halogens, fluoride, bromide, but fluoride, because they fluoridate and chlorine the water in cities. So they say it's for your teeth. It's not. It's not for your teeth. It's to calcify your pineal gland. It's not for your teeth because there's no studies that actually show that fluoride is good for your teeth long term. So whatever it is that they're doing it for, it's not for your benefit. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not for your benefit. There's a reason why if you look around in the United States, if you look at the statistics, we're at a 72% obesity rate in the United States. Well, 72% overweight and obesity rate. I mean, among other things, like a lot of people have hypothyroids and some people have hyperthyroids. But there's a lot of weight gain that happens and a lot of inflammation that happens with a hypothyroid. So be mindful of what you consume because it affects the whole biological system. Just like the fascia affects the physical system. If I pull here on the body, shake. If I pull here on the body, this gets affected in my shirt. So look, it moves everything. This is the same thing as the fascia. The same thing as the fascia. We're coming into the 58th minute or so. So once that hits, we will be parting. Well, let's just shake right now. Let's figure out the amplitude that feels good for you. With this move, you're just gently squatting down, doom, 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 and you're finding your rhythm, doom, 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 doom. You can move your head to the side. Move it back. Move to the other side. And then down. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our fingertips together. Okay, we're going to straighten the legs. Bring the fingers forward and bend at the waist. Expansive breaths into the rib cage. Okay, then come up. Good. Okay, now we're going to stop. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths here. Feel your body's telling you. It might light up some areas of your body in the next few hours. That's okay. It's healing. It's blood flow. It's energy flowing there. It's not just blood. There's a lot of stuff flowing there. So just be mindful. Mindful for the rest of your day and enjoy your body. See you guys in the next one.